Hello everyone, and this is my review for WWE NXT on March 11th, 2015. And, last week I was saying basically most of everything was based around the promos. This week was based more around matches where people were on their road to vengeance or getting just a little bit of vengeance back in their side. So basically, we'll go off right from the beginning of the show. They start off with Enzo Amore and Big Cass going up against the Lucha Dragons for the number one contendership for the NXT tag team titles. Of course, as the way they've been building up Big Cass and Enzo Amore as of late, they've kind of been throwing them a teasing storyline where maybe they're breaking up the tag team, or they're back together and they're actually going for the NXT tag team titles because they won the match against the Lucha Dragons. So we'll see how they actually play out that one. They could be using this shot at the tag team titles as a way to further a potential storyline with the two splitting up. I don't know exactly where they're going to go with it. Maybe they're doing this as also a way for them to, the potential teasing of a split up as a way to, further the storyline, make it more meaningful when they do win the tag team titles, or as well in this case. So we'll see where they go off of that storyline, but they're obviously going up against Blake and Wesley for the NXT tag team titles at some point. So we'll definitely see how they go along with that. You also had Alexa Bliss going up against Carmella this week, and Alexa Bliss's storyline is basically going up against Sasha Banks for breaking her nose months back. So she is on her road to trying to get some vengeance against Sasha Banks at this point in time. And basically, that road does start with a matchup against Carmella, which was actually a decent match. It was a decent match. It wasn't the best laid out match that I've seen from the women of NXT, but it wasn't absolutely horrible. It was definitely better than what you usually see on Raw, SmackDown, or anywhere else at this point in time. So it definitely was above that standard, and again, that standard is kind of low at that as well. So, but all in all, that was a relatively decent match, and they're setting up for something with Sasha Banks and Alexa Bliss somewhere down the road here. So we'll see how that storyline progresses, and we'll see how long that storyline actually goes along for as well. Sorry. You also had the return of Alex Riley to the ring. And he was going up against CJ Parker. And you had a great promo backstage from Alex Riley. That's one thing that you really forget about, even though you could definitely have always seen that in his announcing and everything, that this guy's a really good talker. And honestly, this was probably one of the best promos he's cut in a very long time. It definitely conveyed the point of what he was going for, about him being stuck in announcing for so long when he really just wanted to be in the ring doing what he wanted to do. And I thought that came off really, really good. I like the aspect that his gimmick now is basically a rage gimmick for the time being. Him obviously going up against Kevin Owens at some point will definitely be a fun match to watch, at least in my own mind. I think it will be a lot of fun to watch, and it could definitely be used as a good way of elevating Kevin Owens even more, or if they're actually trying to pursue something with Alex Riley more in ring as well. It could also be a good way of elevating him back into any kind of main roster, or any kind of potential potential furthering of his coming back to the in-ring side of everything. So it was definitely good to see Alex Riley back in the ring, and I liked the promo right beforehand as well. You also had, and obviously the main event, and this is where, like I was saying before, the storylines where a little bit of revenge is gotten. Hideo Itami versus Tyler Breeze, and they put on a really good match at the TakeOver Rival show, and they put on a really good match here again. And this is where I was talking about, obviously Hideo Itami got the win at the TakeOver special, and this was the time for Tyler Breeze to actually go over. And I'm actually glad they did decide to put him over in this case. A lot of times where it comes to these main event type matches, they'll have the face go over in most cases. Not all the time, obviously, but in most cases they will probably have the face kind of go over in some way, shape, or form. I'm glad they went with Tyler Breeze in this case because, honestly, their storyline isn't great, but it isn't horrible either, and they put on really good matches, so they can continue on with this storyline. You had Hideo Itami go over at NXT Rival. Now you've had Tyler Breeze go over. Now you can have a third match between the two of them. And we'll see how they continue on with this feud. I think they will continue with this feud into the future, and we'll definitely at least get one more really good match out of it in that case. So overall, I felt this week's NXT was still relatively good. I liked the aspect that they were going with more of people on their road to trying to get vengeance, and then obviously with Tyler Breeze getting a little bit of his vengeance back and potentially continuing on with his storyline with Hideo Itami. So overall, relatively good show this week, and we'll see how everything goes on. They're obviously promoting heavily the fact that NXT is going on the road, and obviously those shows had already been taped, but it'll be interesting to also see how they use the NXT arena setup for a different area at this point in time, because most people have never seen that before. So we'll see how that comes off on TV with next week's show. So that's my review this week for WWE NXT, and I thank you guys for watching.